Jerry, you are in show business. You're a comedian and a director. Your father was a singer and a host and a comedian. Your mother was in show business. Now your oldest son, Gary, I think he's 19.
He'll be 20 this month.
He's got a group, Gary and the Playboys or something. He gives evidence of going into show business. Is there something hereditary about this thing? I mean, it seems to be passing from generation to generation.
I don't think it's unlike the Marcino brothers in France, the jewelers from 1730. There's about 11 brothers and sons and sisters and family. I'm delighted about it. I don't, that's one of my pet peeves, as a matter of fact, when I hear a man say, who is an inspector for the post office department? My son's not going to be an inspector for the post office department. Well, that tells me one thing. This man isn't proud of what he does. This tells me this man doesn't like what he does. He's not protecting his son. He doesn't want another one of those things to happen. I love what I do. And if I love it and get the pleasure I get out of it, if I love my son, I'll project it at him. I'll want him to love and enjoy it too.
But I'm in show business, and I don't think I'd want my son in it for
then you're
the
not
reason.
Enjoying it.
Yes, I love it, but it is so murderously competitive. It is so brutally heartbreaking so often.
You don't have the right to project that at your son.
That
you said you loved it.
Yes, I do.
Well,
love
what
it
right
for
do
me.
you have to suffocate his needs and loves? If he can get love from it, he's entitled to it.
You think it's a rewarding life for your child?
If it's rewarding for me, I want the best for my son. And before I think of my son, I think of me. And if it's good enough for me, why shouldn't it be good enough for my son? Not because I say so, but if he elects to want to do it, I must encourage him to the fullest. I have told my sons, and we have real Louis Stone, Andy Hardy meetings once a week. We have round table, spit it out sessions. That's from the little guy right up to the big one. And I have told them, whatever you want to do, I will help you do. But I cannot assist you unless you tell me what you want. Now, if you walk in a corner and pout because something isn't working out, I can't help you unless I know what you're pouting about. You want to be a bank robber? Be the best bank robber. And if you want to do that, and if you understand that anything you want to do, you're going to have to pay the consequences, as long as you understand that, I'll help you be the best one. Because if you're the best, you won't get caught for a while.
Do other of the boys give evidence of wanting to be in show business?
Yeah, Scotty, my 9-year-old. He's 9 years old, and he plays the piano in a matter of 6 months. He is a transcending genius from what the teachers tell us. He has music in his soul, and he does things on the piano, reads music and transposes them in his mind. He has perfect pitch. He is destined to be something exceptional, and that's marvelous. And Chris, who is 7, he likes to sit and watch Scotty. He's the clown of the family. Anthony is 5. He's the Jewish Al Capone of the family. Looks like a little Italian. Don't start up with me. He's mad at everybody all the time, but he can't wait to hug you. And baby Joe is 18 months. We haven't decided if he's decided anything yet.
I see.
The 15-year-old, that one, he's going to be the first man in space without an umbilical or a capsule.
Alone,
he's fly. Just going to one day go up, and he can measure the ionosphere for you. He can break down particles of space radiation. He's a master.
He's an embryo scientist.
He is something else. He can pull apart a mechanical device and not get it back the way it was, but better.
Jerry, what's the impact on children of their father being a national, international celebrity?
Which children?
Your children.
I don't have that problem.
Well, it must exist to some degree. Their father is more than their father. Their father is a national identity.
No.
He is stopped in the street. He's asked for autographs. Crowds form around him.
They are never exposed to any of that. And if it does happen in Bel Air or in Beverly Hills, it's very minor. And the little guys look at some lady asking for my autograph, and they're not sure that she's got all the marbles. Why would they want Daddy's autograph? Or why does Daddy write, and they've asked Patty, why does Daddy write his name for that lady? Can we do that? He's our daddy. We can get a lot of them for nothing.
So they don't see you then engulfed by a public or...
No. As a matter of fact, Chrissy will say to Patty, can we see a Jerry Lewis movie this weekend? As they would say, can we see a Bob Hope movie? Or a Red Skelton movie? They know Daddy is him. Patty has helped me be a better director and producer and writer by the objectivity. By being able to look at the image on the screen. And if he's funny, I laugh. If he's not, I don't. And when I'm in that cutting room, he's the first thing I dump out of the picture. And I am able, though I may be an egomaniac, I'm able to put the vanity and the vain and all the other jazz in a box. And I have to make that product the best I can.
You have unusual theories about marriage. You feel that, for example, when you're traveling, as I understand it, Patty does not socialize. She will not go with another couple to a premiere. She will not, I don't know, go to a Hollywood party. What is your theory of married life?
Well, I think that marriage is a unity of two people and that they should share their life together. I don't like interchanges. I don't like my wife dancing with another man. And if I am sitting at a table and a man will walk over, hi, Patty, you look awfully pretty tonight. She'll say, thank you. Would you like to dance? And I'll look at him and I'll say, no, I don't feel like dancing now. So she's not dancing. And I get very hostile, and I'm not able yet to handle it with a little more finesse. I don't want to dance with another man's wife. Please be good enough to not dance with mine. I can't define it for you. She's a very special thing. Leave her alone. She's mine. And
now, wait a minute. Isn't that kind of insecure? If you've got this marvelous 20-year...
Would you like to introduce me to someone who isn't insecure?
No, but you've got a...
Well, then I have a right to be, have I not?
Well, of course you have a right to be.
Are you insecure?
I would suppose so. I'm not...
And so is everybody else.
But not on the level of, you can't dance with my wife.
I don't believe that insecurity needs levels. If you're insecure about something, that's bad enough, no matter what it's about.
What is the danger inherent in another fellow dancing with your wife? You've lived 20 years, you have 6 sons, you're very much in love, you have great harmony. Along comes Mr. Jones, and he would like to dance. So what's wrong?
There's nothing wrong with it. Not at all. All I can tell you is that the King of England wasn't insecure. And he was no longer king because of a quirk. Right?
No, he was a single man. He met a woman he loved. She happened not to be of royal
No, he was
lineage.
not a single man, David. He was married to the Crown of England.
Oh, that's true, of course. But
and he
it's not
divorced.
Analogous, Jerry.
It's what?
It's not analogous. It's
analogous? Make a better word.
It's not the same thing.
Why didn't you say same thing? You're showing off again?
No, I beg your pardon. It's not the same thing as you're forbidding someone to dance.
Let me just say, David, I agree that it's not the same thing, but let me put it in the simplest terms. I judge people by what I am. I can be whatever you would like me to be, depending upon what you are with me. If you want to be a charmer, I'll charm you back. If you want to lie, I'll beat you. If you want to be straight and above board, I would prefer that. But I am who I'm with, and I judge people by what I feel. My immediate reaction to people are usually correct because I know what I am feeling. And when I feel a little devious, I distrust who I'm with. When I feel open and warm and sensitive, I'm with a very nice human being. And if you can get some of the things out of me today, I have a whole different picture of you by what I feel. I haven't told you what that is, and that's of no consequence. But if anything that I have said is nice or good, it's a compliment to whom I'm talking to. Now, I know how I would dance with another man's wife. I therefore must assume the other man's going to dance that way with my wife.
How would you dance with another man?
I'd hug her very close and get cute.
I see. And you don't want him hugging and getting cute.
That's the idea. So it has nothing to do with insecurity. It has to do with men not knowing that she's very important in my life. Don't fool around.
I see. What kind of social life, Jerry, do you have? Are you in that mainstream of Hollywood parties and going with other very wealthy actors, always in the company of named people, social
If I did, I wouldn't have the kind of family that I've just made reference to. No. No, I did that for a long while. I really ran crazy. I went without sleep from January through December one year.
Doing what?
Running around. Parties. Lampshades on the head, being the life of the party. This Hollywood party, that Hollywood party. I don't really believe that an awful lot of people in Hollywood like the Hollywood parties, but they have become almost a vital part of organization, a vital part of business. It becomes a structure to that part of the structure, because from 9 to 6 in the office there is such an overabundance of work, what with labor and unions and having to get a production ready and so on. I think that there's just so many hours eaten up in the course of a day that many people have parties and cocktail parties and functions such as this to continue discussions. I think it's become a vital part of the scheme of things. I think there isn't enough time in the day for most people who are on the run and most people who want to make a contribution and build. I think that the Hollywood parties and all of the things that we hear about are a necessity and they're vital. I try to get all of my work done in the office, and I'll work an 18-hour day sometimes, but I prefer to do it there or at the studio. I just don't like the having to shake a lot of hands and how do you do and not hear the names of the people that I'm hearing and trivia and discussing little minor things. You leave the office and your heart's bleeding because a piece of film that you shot didn't work. It's rough to sit down and discuss, did you hear what happened to this actor? He didn't get the job, etc., etc. It's not necessarily all unkind, but I don't know how to explain it. I have a very bad thing in that when I'm hurting, it's human nature, I guess. I'm very angry at the guy sitting over there smiling about some stupid joke a lady told him. I want him to hurt also while I hurt. It's not unlike the guy in the office that walks in the office in the morning and has a very bad toothache. Now, alongside of him sits a man who he's worked with for 25 years. And that man is... and he's happily working. The guy with the toothache hopes he drops dead. What right does he have to whistle while I have pain? That's normal. That, to me, is human behavior.
Well, and what is your life in Hollywood? What does it consist of after work?
I leave Bel Air and I go to the studio. And I make my product and I earn a living. When I finish that, I go home to my family. And I take them on the boat and we fish. Or we go to the park. Or Patty will take them to the horse show or the dog show. Or I'll take one of my sons one weekend and it'll be father and son on a boat and we fish. And that's great because when I take one of the little guys, I keep him up all hours. And when he falls asleep, I give him a little nudge because I don't want to be alone. It's a ball. They're marvelous.
Is there something, in your opinion, special and not attractive, ugly even, about the social life of Hollywood? That it's very self-serving, that it's done for, as you said, making business deals? Or
same thing as in New York, David. Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, Detroit. I think the whole social structure has lost its basis. Social was to ignore the everyday difficulties, and social was people living in harmony and looking at another man's children's pictures and worrying and caring and visiting and interchanges of food and recipes. And I guess I'm old-fashioned, but the whole social thing has changed all over the world. The world's moving so fast that I think people are going to waste an afternoon sitting at a barbecue and just enjoying one another's company or walking away with a marvelous, refreshing feeling of this nice man in his home. I think that an awful lot of that is gone in the major metropolitan cities. People in big business.
What about the myth, is it a myth, about Hollywood that $5,000 a week actors hobnob with other $5,000 a week actors and $2,000 a week actors stay with their own group? Is that true?
I don't think so.
It isn't?
I don't think so. Moreover, Hollywood has always been a target, and I think unjustifiably. It's awfully unfair. We have some of the nicest people in the world in that town. Very substantial people. And some of the $5,000 actors are not unlike myself in what he feels about his family. He is just as frightened at not doing well. He's just as concerned as you are about projecting himself the best way he can to the public. He's a human being. He is subject to all kinds of ridicule because of his stature and because of his position. I think it's terribly unfair that we pray for a champion to wear the belt and then we can't wait to see another guy knock him down. I get so damn tired of this one and that one knocking Hollywood. We are still the capital of the world's pressure relieving. We send in a can of film hours of forget about the Cold War. We are a city of people that have dedicated our lives to doing the best we can to alleviate some of the tension in the world. And it's about time some people started to say, here's a whole bunch of people, one more frightened than the other, so that they could just please go on to make a living by giving so very much to the world. It's about time someone patted that town on the head.
You're probably right. We have to pause again very briefly. We'll be right back. Jerry, we've used up our time, I'm sorry to say. Do you have a closing thing you'd like to say?
Yeah, I would like to say that I wish we had more time, and with a little more time we might have gotten into a little battle, you and I. It would have been fun.
Well, I promise you, there will be more time, and we'll do another.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest today has been one of the extraordinary figures on the American show business scene, a great comedian, a talented director, and a great showman. I'm grateful for his being here, Mr. Jerry Lewis. Thank you for being with us, and please join us again next week at the same time. Good night.